Hello, hello, and welcome to Inside the Story. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. If you're joining me for the first time, let me give you a quick rundown. Every episode, we go behind the scenes of films and shows that are streaming right now on Radiate TV by hosting exclusive interviews with independent movie makers, where we'll share a director's cut of fun facts and stories you won't hear anywhere else. For this episode, I'm with Douglas Haase. And if you don't know him, first of all, really? We're talking about the two-time Telly Award winner. We're talking the creator of Oreo stacking. We're talking one of the brilliant minds behind Pop Creature LLC here. We're talking feature films, classic films, and sports, all in its very own tab, full of media featured here on Radiate TV. So sit back, relax, and learn what really happens on set with Radiate's official podcast, Inside the Story. So, once again, welcome, Doug.
Glad to be here.
The first thing I wanted to ask you about your title of Doogie, the director of fun. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I got that from a an executive's wife at Walmart. If you can imagine that, after doing many years of promotional work and running a $24 billion operation selling product to them, I was always around everywhere and always throwing parties and always the object of attention there in a small little town called Bentonville, Arkansas, that holds the #1 retailer. But anytime there was something going on, I was there. In fact, there was a joke that used to go around where they said that somebody visited the Italy and said, "Is that the Pope up there?" And they said, "I don't know, but that's Doug Haase standing next to him." So this woman gave me the title of the director of fun because anytime we were around, anytime we did something, there was always plenty of fun.
I'm glad to hear that. What was your experience being the director of fun?
Well, it entitled me, I guess, to create different scenarios in order for people to do, in our business what they enjoy doing, which is creating. In the vast amount of things that I was able to accomplish, I did things with actors, I did things with sports stars, music stars, and I was able to just bring them together in situations, promotional situations where the marketplace could interact with them, shoppers, people within the community, and then also allow some of the executives and the people that were part of the promotion, whether it was a retailer or a brand, also to enjoy them in kind of a more easier setting for a dinner or a cocktail party or things like that.
So it seems to me that for you, marketing and entertainment really mesh together well. And I kind of want to know how did that come to be for you?
Well, it's interesting. I actually started out, my degrees are all in music. I went to the Berklee School of Music, wanted to be a hotshot jazz drummer, and was in the music business, played a lot, and got played a lot with a lot of different great bands, like played with Bob Hope. When he toured, I played with the resurrection bands of the Monkees and the Pointer Sisters. Um, but after doing that for a while, I realized that I actually enjoyed the business side of the business, and actually being the one who was producing and creating the situation. And since I was kind of already in the mix of being a player in it, I figured I could do both.
That makes a lot of sense. Speaking of producing, tell me about your experience with producing Pop Creature LLC.
So Pop Creature is really on my side. I'm more of we're looking for independent movie and show people that are looking to get their IP, their intellectual property on a great streaming service like Radiate TV. So I work with a guy named Steve Tornabini, who is a absolutely fantastic number one producer. Used to be with the UFC. Steve and I got together, and because of my sales background and my background in music, sports, as well as in TV and film, and Steve's background in producing, we basically got together and we are helping people that have had really great content, and of course with Radiate.TV, Pop Creature is hoping to fill some of that void for these independent um, content makers, so that they have a home, they have a place where they're comfortable, and they're a little more upfront than being lost in a, let's say, a Netflix or some other type of streaming service.
I love that, and that is one thing I kind of noticed about Pop Creature, and I love that we kind of share that common interest of wanting to bring to light these smaller, these indie movie makers, and just kind of, as you said, give them a home, which I love. How you worded that, um, and so I find it really great that we get to give these guys that chance. Um, and it kind of reminds me too, something else that was pretty similar to what we do was your Insomnia Theater, which, uh, much like this podcast right now, we're trying to get some behind the scenes info on stuff. And so I wanted to learn a little bit more about Insomnia Theater and how you came up with that.
Thank you for asking. That's such a great question. Insomnia Theater is kind of one of those babies that that I love. It comes from a really good friend of mine that I met at a Comic-Con that I helped get off the ground up in the town of Minot, North Dakota. And Mark Starks is a great independent documentary filmmaker, and he is the genesis of Insomnia Theater, which features Paul Gannis, who's a really great character actor. He's been in films like Forever Young with Mel Gibson, Atlas with J Lo recently, and The Mask of Zorro. And Paul Gannis is basically our narrator. And I guess myself, like you know, there's just some great films out there. Maybe you want to call them B films, or just kind of lost films that are older that a lot of people don't know about. And what Paul does is he brings to life the film in a very short vignette, let's say, of each film. Let's just take one for example. One of my favorites, the Vincent Price movie, The House on Haunted Hill, and he basically gives you a good understanding of what the film's about, who the actors are, and then it gives you some tidbits that you may not know about the film. So it's a great way if you want to learn some of the classics, and you're deciding, well, which ones do I watch? It's a great place to go to Insomnia Theater, and get a really good download and say, hey, this might be a movie I really want to watch.
Absolutely, and I can say, funny that you brought up the episode because I did watch the one on House on Haunted Hill myself, and I really did learn a thing or two. I love the idea of that skeleton like swinging through a theater. Wish that was something I got to experience myself, but I think the movie was a little before my time. But that's why it was great to learn about it. And I think it's awesome that you guys cover movies like that and also lesser known movies, and just bring them to light and bring fun facts to them, just like we do here on Radiate TV.
Absolutely, that's what we love about Radiate is that, again, is that it's great content, it's quality content, but it's just a little bit different. Our Pop Creature is kind of cool. We always say all creatures are welcome at Pop Creature. We're just a little bit different than the rest of the world. And when we met up with Greg, from Radiate.TV, we were excited to be able to bring that energy, and have him really kind of give us the blessing to bring this kind of energy to Radiate.
Absolutely, it's wonderful to see that that you guys do this, that you just kind of, once again, forgive me for sounding like a broken record, but just bringing to light, just the lesser known and sometimes the weird, but welcoming that. And I absolutely love that. I myself actually am a film student, and I look forward to eventually creating my own film, and maybe having the opportunity to have something, here on Radiate, there on Pop Creature. I mean, technically both in a way, um, but on the flip side, um, I've seen, and you've told me a little bit about meeting a lot of celebrities, and kind of curious, who's been your favorite to meet so far?
That's a great question too. There's so many in so many different verticals within the industry. With sports and music and I probably I have to say just because I'm a drummer, and I started playing drums because of him was working with Ringo Starr from the Beatles. So that was probably for me it was like I was a kid in a candy store. I also grew up, in the 1960s with the great Adam West doing the original Batman series. And these, of course, are all before your time. But as a young child, I loved Batman. Back when it was running on TV, it had a 54 share in the marketplace, and Adam West played Batman. And I was able to put together a 1997 reunion tour with him and Burt Ward and Yvonne Craig, who played Batgirl. And I also did some side work with Frank Gorshin, who played the Riddler there. So, um, I'd like I'm really blessed to be able to um, have these favorites as a child and as a young man growing up, and then also having the opportunity to create promotional work and things around them, so I could, I guess, meet some of my mentors that I enjoyed.
Wow, yeah, I was gonna say, maybe sometimes it is okay to meet your heroes.
I think so. We know we're besides being with Pop Creature, I also work to hopefully bring sponsors and advertising to Radiate.tv through my two other companies, Haase Entertainment and CPG. So we're tied to a lot of different other sports and musicians and brands, big brands out there that we're hoping to bring on board and turbocharge what's already been done at Radiate.tv.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love to hear it. Tell me a little bit about your other companies like Hassline Entertainment.
So, Hotline Entertainment is a company that brings brands and entertainment together and puts them at retail. So, for instance, you opened up by talking about Oreo stacking, creating what we called in the industry retailtainment, where we bring, again, brands and entertainment together. Oreo stacking started out as just a simple card table, a bag of Oreos, and we gave away little bendable Oreos as a prize when kids came up and stacked Oreos for 30 seconds. Um, and amazingly enough, I was able to create a promotion where people were buying Oreos and not eating them. They were buying them and playing with them. But amazingly, you have to keep the promotion going. So we did it 5 years in a row, and ended up having to turbocharge that. So towards the end, we tied into the movie The Hulk from Marvel, and we were able tied into baseball with Ken Griffey Jr. So we were able to take entertainment with a simple promotion that worked and keep the energy alive based on IPs or intellectual properties, movies, TVs, and keep it more exciting. Keep them coming back for just another reason to stack Oreos while you're while mom's shopping in the store. The kids came over and had fun.
That's wonderful. Um, Tell me what inspired you to really be part of marketing slash business?
Well, I think like you. I mean, I can tell you're an excited guy. You like being in the entertainment business and doing what you do, and I think that's why we do it, right? I mean, it's just a very exciting place to work. We're around exciting people like yourself, creative people. When you hang out with creative people, it's a wonderful place to work. Everybody is, I have to say, everybody's a team member. Everybody's rooting for each other. And I haven't been in an industry where, um, you know, we all compete to a certain way, for instance, I'll give you a great example. When I do a lot with the horror genre in movies, but everybody roots for each other. Nobody's trying to be the best horror movie out there. When another horror movie does well, everybody's clapping. Everybody's saying, "Hey, congratulations," because they know we're growing the overall audience. And that's really what we're trying to do, is get more people to listen to music, watch TV, watch movies, and hopefully watch them at radiate.tv.
Yes, absolutely. And, one of my favorite parts about Radiate, honestly, is the fact that it's free. No subscription, no, hassle with how much do I gotta pay each month, none of that. You just get to go to the website, go to the app, and sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Absolutely, and I think once people get on there and they whet their appetite with, like as you say, some of the things that you've been able to do on Pop Creature, but even on the other pieces within Radiate, there's just a lot of different things to open your enjoyment to entertainment and to content. And we hope that's what Radiate does, is that it grows your viewing span bigger, so that you can enjoy more about what creators are doing out here in our industry.
Absolutely. And I feel like having the opportunity to see this wide variety of movies, TV series, etc., really kind of lets you learn a little bit more about the creation of that, especially when you do consider these people as indie film makers. They don't have the budget to have like a fully CGI scene, or hire the top A-list actors or whatnot. They're trying to make do, but at the same time, you can still tell that their heart's really in it. Um, and with that, I kind of wanted to know what your creative process is like.
Since I love so many things, like I said, I was in the music business, and then I slowly got into theater, and which led me into acting. I kind of got into doing some movies, like, the movie Rat Race and Any Given Sunday. And really, my creative process is, I'm a junkie to whatever's out there, in our world. I don't get very critical about anybody's creation, because I can find the good in all of it. So, for myself, I think the interesting thing is that the people that we have that are coming on through Pop Creature are all hungry. So from a creative process, I kind of look for that hunger within the people that we're dealing with. I mean, I hope someday that somebody watching Radiate.tv, just a viewer, somebody that's watching Pop Creature on Radiate.tv, that they're inspired to say, "Hey, I want to be in this industry, and I want to create something for Radiate.tv." Wouldn't that be like the greatest achievement we could have, is that our viewers actually get interested in our business and want to participate?
Absolutely. That would be a dream. And I love your use of the word hunger there. And I know, sometimes, as like a student myself, I've worked with a couple other students before. It's not so easy to want to take that daring step into really producing something and getting ready for publication. So if you were to give advice to people who want to strive for that, to really take that hunger and just like grab something, how would you what would you advise them to do?
Well, they probably. I like people to go study a little bit, like you say you are. I think it's great to. And it doesn't necessarily have to be at a college, or you can just be getting into an industry, being an apprentice, or being, you know, walking in and being part of a movie set or part of a TV experience. But I think that I would say to like I say to writers, if you love to write, keep writing. I mean, you have to continue your craft. Um, One thing that happens that everybody's looking for success and they want it quick. I think the ones of us that are doing it and love it, our pocketbook is not necessarily the end run on what we're doing. We're more interested in creating something that we can see an effect on the world, effect on the people that are watching it, our viewers. Whether it's bringing a smile to their face, as you say, whether it's educating them, whatever it is, I think that we're so dedicated to that I would hope that a new person would understand that that's the name of the game. It's the dedication, it's the long term loyalty to what we're doing together. Whether there's so many people that I admire that I'll never meet, but I feel like I'm sitting next to them because I've been part of the process of directing. I've been part of the process of acting. I've been part of the process of playing and writing music. So when I hear something that I enjoy, I might as well be sitting right next to them while they're playing it, even though I may not be, because that's the kind of feeling and inner creativity I think that most of us creative people have.
And with all of that experience and, you know, with that as what you strive for, what would you say is something you want to share with the world?
Well, I think right now, Pop Creature is it. I've been working. Pop Creature didn't just happen. Pop Creature's been on a 5-year mission, and we finally found the right home, and the right people that we're comfortable with, that we enjoy working with at Radiate.tv. So, I would say right now, I've arrived. I really Pop Creature has been birthed. It's not done yet. It's still in its birthing pains. But the genesis around it, what we're trying to do for independent content providers, is finally come to life. And I would say beyond that is just for me to get big brands like Coca-Cola and Oreo and big sponsorships from companies to come in and be part of the Radiate experience. That would be a blessing to me. That way I feel like we've put the bow on the package, and the vision of that Radiate has and Pop Creature has within Radiate, then would just completely have a platform that would come to life. I think the way we all want it to do.
Absolutely. And I love that, even now that Pop Creature has a home being here on Radiate TV, it doesn't mean that it's done yet. More stuff is coming. And I've heard that MMA is coming to Pop Creature, and I would like to hear a little bit about that from you.
Well, you know what? I wish I was the the guy behind that, but it's my partner Steve Tornavini. But yeah, we are. Right now we have I think Hook and Shoot Revolution, International Veil, Tudo, USMMA, and ADCC, all on Pop Creature right now. But we're in negotiations to get much more MMA um, uh, content. And we've even been working with, and this is kind of a genesis down the road, but Warrior Island, which is a big project behind some great MMA martial arts legends. And we're hoping to continue that series. And actually, we've been trying to make a major motion picture, but that all can be tied in through Pop Creature. But that's probably down the road. But yeah, we're committed to the MMA. I think the one thing about that crowd is that they love live content. They like knowing what's going on right now or next Saturday. but they also just like going back and watching fights. They love the sport so much. They'll watch a fight from 10 years ago, you know, and enjoy it just as much as something they know is coming in the future. They're just a very dedicated audience.
Now, Douglas, is there anything you wanted to leave as a last message to our viewers?
Well, I would just like to say thank you. Thank you for viewing and coming on and checking out Radiate.tv. I hope it becomes part of your appetite, part of your weekly viewing and your content. Set aside some time. Don't just come in and hit and miss. Come and be our friend. Come and see what's new. We're going to have a lot of new, as we're hearing, a lot of new content. Trying to change things up, but. I would just say that we're very excited to be on Radiate.tv. To your point, it's free. How great is that to get all this great content for free? And I think it's a place where people will feel comfortable. It's a safe zone for us all to enjoy what we love to enjoy, which is the entertainment business. Whether it's sports, whether it's movies, whether it's TVs, and there's some great podcasts on there with people for you to be educated. So it's filled with, it's a one-stop shop, and it's free. Come visit.
Absolutely. Once again, folks, this was Douglas Haase. And if you want to see some more behind the scenes fun facts, I highly recommend that you check out Insomnia Theater. And while you're there, check out the rest of what Pop Creature has to offer on Radiate TV. You can download the app on your phone or go to the website on your computer. And once again, let me stress this, it's free. No subscription required. So don't be shy. Share this with your friends and family and tell them something you learned from this podcast and their Insomnia Theater when you go watch something from Pop Creature Library on Radiate TV. Thank you for watching Inside the Story. Tune in next time.